You are sitting in a sparse, sun-bleached living room in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Miami, where the only decoration is a single, dusty Grammy nomination plaque hanging slightly askew on the wall. Two men, two empires, two completely different definitions of what it means to win. For the last 3 decades, the world of dancehall has been defined by a silent, bloody, and lyrical war. On one side, you have the literal devil's protege, the Gaza commander, the incarcerated genius whose pen has written more chart toppers than most labels have released, Vybz Kartel. On the other, the Don Gorgon, the original bad man, the lyrical sharpshooter who once claimed he could teach God how to rap, Ninjaman. And if you think the story ended when the courts handed down their verdicts, you are dangerously mistaken. Because today, we aren't just talking about who had the better diss track in 2004. We are breaking down the lifestyles of Vybz Kartel and Ninjaman in the year 2026. And what I am about to reveal will completely shatter your perception of who actually won this war. Stick with me until the end, because the financial breakdown we have on Ninjaman's Freedom Fund versus Kartel's post-incarceration empire is going to shock you, and you'll want to hear the details on how Kartel controls the streets from a location you'd never expect. To understand where they are in 2026, you have to rewind the tape, but not to the hits. Forget Fever for a second. Forget Poor People Land. We have to go to the psychology of the corner. For over a decade, the narrative was simple. Vybz Kartel went to jail, and Ninjaman went to jail. The media painted them with the same brush, two dancehall legends lost to the system. But that is the laziest take in music history, and it's exactly what the establishment wants you to believe. In 2026, one of these men is living the life of a luxury tech baron, leveraging blockchain and exclusive listening experiences to create a revenue stream that rivals major label distribution, while the other is fighting for the rights to breathe in a free society, caught in a paradox where his freedom came at the cost of his relevance. And the controversy? It's not about who is the better artist anymore. It's about who played the game of life with a winning hand. Let's start with Vybz Kartel. You see the Instagram posts. You see the blurred photos, the elusive sightings. But here is the reality of a digipalmer in 2026. He isn't just out of jail. He has transcended the physical need for a stage. You have to understand the surprise element of his release. When the Privy Council overturned his conviction, the world expected a victory lap. We expected the freed-up album, the world tour, the Coachella headlining slot. But Kartel did something no one saw coming. He went ghost. Not because he was hiding, but because he understood a fundamental law of power that Ninjaman never grasped. Scarcity creates obsession. In 2026, Vybz Kartel has become the Andy Warhol of dancehall, but with a grimier, more dangerous edge. He lives in a custom-built compound just outside of Kingston, a property that looks unassuming from the road, high walls, barbed wire, the usual Jamaican celebrity security. But inside, we've obtained architectural details that paint a picture of a man living in a smart prison of his own design. He has a state-of-the-art recording studio, yes, but it's connected to a medical suite. You have to remember, Kartel is battling a serious autoimmune disease, and that fight has changed his lifestyle fundamentally. He isn't running from the police anymore. He is running from his own biology. And yet, that is where the emotion hits hardest. He took a disease that was supposed to silence him, that the prosecution once used to argue he was faking illness, and he weaponized it as a brand. Now, let's pivot to the concrete jungle. Let's go to Ninjaman, the Don Gorgon, the original murderer. If Kartel's lifestyle is a sci-fi thriller, Ninjaman's 2026 reality is a gritty, tragic documentary. In January of 2026, Ninjaman finally walked out of prison after his long legal battle regarding the 2009 murder of Ricardo "Ricky Trooper" Johnson. The media circus was massive. There were pictures of him hugging his son, little children who are now grown men, on the courthouse steps. But here is the hook, the part that breaks your heart if you are a true dancehall head. Ninjaman came home to a world that had moved on. In prison, time freezes. You are still the king of the cell block, but outside, the algorithm doesn't care about your legacy. The lifestyle difference between Kartel and Ninjaman in 2026 is the difference between proactive evolution and reactive survival. When Ninjaman was released, he didn't have a compound waiting for him. He didn't have a crypto fund. He had the clothes on his back and a GoFundMe page set up by his family that had only reached 15% of its goal. And this is where we have to talk about the controversy. Why didn't the dancehall elite bail him out? Why weren't there charity concerts? The answer is messy. In 2026, the music industry is terrified of liability. Ninjaman's past, specifically the notorious persona and the lyrical violence, which was once celebrated, is now seen as a liability for corporate sponsors. He tried to book a welcome home concert at the National Stadium. It got canceled due to permitting issues, but the rumor in Kingston is that the insurance premiums were simply too high. No one would insure the event. So what does the lifestyle of a free Ninjaman look like in 2026? It looks like mornings at the local barber shop. Not the VIP section of a club, but a small wood-paneled shop in Tivoli Gardens. He sits in the chair, not to get a cut, but to talk. He records freestyles on an Android phone with a cracked screen. The audio quality is terrible, but the bars? The bars are still sharper than a razor blade. He posts these directly to his new TikTok account. And here is the irony. The beautiful, tragic irony of this whole story. Ninjaman, the man who spent 30 years terrifying the establishment, has become the people's champion again, but not through power. Through vulnerability. We have to compare the empires. Because if you are watching this channel, you love the numbers, the houses, the cars, and the girls. Let's talk about the romantic lifestyle of these two icons, because that is where the rubber meets the road. Vybz Kartel, in 2026, has the prison husband dynamic on steroids. He is rumored to be engaged to a pharmaceutical heiress from Trinidad. She manages his medication. It is a partnership of necessity and affection. But the gossip columns are obsessed with the fact that Cartel has not been seen in public with a woman in 2 years. He has become a digital recluse. His romance is conducted through encrypted love letters and voice notes that inevitably leak to the internet, where they become poetry for the masses. He has monetized intimacy. Ninjaman, on the other hand, is navigating a very different romantic landscape. He returned to his longtime partner, but the strain of incarceration is brutal. In the first quarter of 2026, Ninjaman was reportedly staying in a halfway house, not a penthouse. The welcome home wasn't a party. It was a quiet dinner of stewed chicken and rice and peas. And this is where the emotional hook gets real for the audience. You see a video of Ninjaman walking through the market downtown. He isn't guarded by a posse. He is guarded by a single, elderly aunt who walks with a cane. People stop him. They hug him. They cry. He cries. In 2026, Ninjaman has stopped being an artist and has become a symbol of resilience. He represents the man who lost everything. His youth, his prime earning years, his reputation, and got it back when the world had changed the locks. But let's not get it twisted. This is a lifestyle breakdown, and we have to talk about the money. The rumors, the speculation, the leaked financials. How do these two afford to live? Vybz Kartel operates through a network of shell companies. He doesn't own a mansion in his name. He owns a creative arts licensing firm. His income comes from the sync license. In 2026, his music is everywhere, in Netflix documentaries, in HBO series, in video games. He licensed Fever to a major automobile commercial for a sum rumored to be in the high six figures. He did this from his laptop, from his bed, wearing a silk robe. His lifestyle is quiet luxury. He wears Prada slides, not flashy jewelry. He learned in jail that gold is heavy and useless if you need to run. He prefers liquid assets. He owns art, real art, from emerging black artists in London and Lagos. He is building a museum. Ninjaman's economy is the cash and carry economy. He doesn't do NFTs. He doesn't do sync licensing deals. He does appearances. A link up in the Bronx for a basement party will run you $3,000 cash up front. A birthday shout out. $500 sent to his son's Cash App. It is a street economy. It is raw. It is real. And it is dangerous because it is unregulated. But here is the controversy that will have you typing in the comments. In 2026, who is happier? Is it the man in the sterile, high-tech compound, isolated from the germs of the world, wealthy but lonely? Or is it the man sitting on a plastic chair on the sidewalk, drinking rum punch with the people who wrote his name on the walls of the prisons he lived in? The fashion, darling. You asked for lifestyle, so let's look at the threads. Vybz Kartel in 2026 has a deal with a high-end streetwear brand based in Tokyo. His style has evolved from the tight jeans and fitted caps of the 2000s to a more monastic, almost Japanese aesthetic. He wears loose-fitting, dark colors. He favors linen because of his skin sensitivity due to his illness. He rarely looks at the camera. In the few leaked photos, he looks like a tech mogul from a dystopian film, thin, sharp, and calculating. Ninjaman is still wearing the same style he wore in 2005, but it looks different now because the context has changed. He wears the baggy jeans, the Timberlands, the big jersey. But in 2026, this is considered retro. The youth look at him and see a vintage icon. He doesn't need to dress new. His authenticity is his fabric. He has a scar on his face now, a small one from a prison altercation a few years back. He doesn't cover it. That scar is worth more than any diamond chain. It tells a story that Cartel's medical records cannot tell. It tells a story of survival of the fittest, not survival of the richest. Let's look at the real estate. Cartel owns property in the Blue Mountains, a retreat that is completely off-grid. Solar panels, satellite internet, medical staff on rotation. It is a fortress of solitude. Ninjaman rents a modest 3-bedroom house in Portmore. The living room is filled with plaques and old photographs. There is a hole in the fence. The dog is friendly. When you walk into Ninjaman's house, you feel like you are walking into a family barbecue. When you walk into Cartel's compound, you feel like you are entering a military installation. Which one is the Black Heart lifestyle? It depends on what you value. Do you value safety or freedom? Do you value longevity or legacy? The music itself in 2026 tells the story of their lifestyles. Cartel's new music is heavily auto-tuned, melancholic, and philosophical. He sings about regret, not about murder. He sings about the feeling of watching the sunset through a glass window, safe but trapped. His tempos are slower. He has traded the frantic energy of the Gazamise for a slow, throbbing bass line that mimics a heartbeat monitor. It is music for the hospital ward, but dressed in Versace. Ninjaman's music is raw, a cappella, or over minimal, distorted rhythms. He records in one take. He breathes heavy into the mic. He coughs sometimes. He leaves the cough in the track. In 2026, authenticity is the only currency that hasn't been inflated, and Ninjaman is printing money with his flaws. He has a track called Free Up the Real, where he talks about being released from prison only to be imprisoned by poverty. It is a gut punch. It is an emotional trigger that makes you want to send him a donation, even if you know he might spend it on a round of drinks for the whole block. Now, let's talk about the controversy that the mainstream media is too scared to touch. The health of Vybz Kartel. There are whispers in the medical community of Kingston that Cartel is actually much sicker than he lets on. That his isolation is not a choice, but a necessity. There is a theory that the Gaza token and the hologram tours are not just genius marketing, but an estate plan. A way to ensure his family gets paid when he is no longer physically here. It is morbid, but it is a reality of the lifestyle of a man fighting a degenerative disease in the public eye. Ninjaman, despite the hard living, despite the prison food, looks robust. He looks strong. He can carry a refrigerator up a flight of stairs. There is a cruel irony here. The man who was killed in the streets lyrically for decades is physically stronger than the man who was controlling the world from his cell, the children. The legacy, the next generation. Vybz Kartel's son, Lyrical Vybz, is a massive star in his own right in 2026. He is clean-cut, university-educated, and he handles the business side of the Gaza empire. He is the shield between his father and the world. He negotiates the deals. He is the CEO, and his father is the chairman. It is a corporate structure. Ninjaman's sons are artists too. Raw, rough, ready. They are the foot soldiers. They handle the street disputes. They are the muscle. This difference in family dynamics explains everything. Cartel built a corporation. Ninjaman built a tribe. In the corporate world, tribes get crushed. In the streets, corporations are seen as soft. Which one survives the next 10 years? Let's get into the specific habits. The daily grind. Vybz Kartel, 2026. Wakes up, checks his phone for the Vitals app that tracks his skin condition, takes a specific blend of teas and steroids, sits in a specialized chair that tracks his posture and pressure points. Ninjaman, 2026. Wakes up, stretches his legs which are stiff from the cell, walks to the corner shop, buys a pack of cigarettes and a pineapple soda, sits on a barrel and argues about football for 2 hours. Goes to the studio, a small shack behind a gas station. Records 3 songs in 40 minutes. Wait, Cartel went to jail. But in 2026, Ninjaman is the one who looks like he just escaped Alcatraz, while Cartel looks like he built a new one for himself. The women. The romantic aspect. We mentioned the heiress for Cartel, but the rumors are swirling that Cartel has a pen pal roster. Women he speaks to on the phone but never meets. He is crafting a harem of voices. It is intellectual intimacy. For Ninjaman, it is physical. He is seen at dances. He is seen holding hands with a variety of women. He is making up for lost time. He is loud about it. Too loud, some say. His Instagram live sessions in 2026 are chaotic, with women arguing in the background, children running around, and him laughing that deep, gravelly laugh. It is messy. It is human. Now, the ending. The reason you are still watching. The money breakdown I promised. A leaked document from a music auditing firm in late 2025 showed that Vybz Kartel's post-incarceration net worth, including crypto, real estate, and licensing, is estimated at roughly $12 million. Ninjaman's net worth, as of his release, was in the negative due to legal fees. However, in the first 6 months of 2026, Ninjaman's merchandise and appearance revenue has exploded. He is making $200,000 a month just from the Freedom Tour, a series of small club shows in the US and Canada where he performs for the diaspora. He is paying off his debts. He is climbing. Cartel's net worth has stagnated because he cannot tour. He has hit a ceiling of $12 million because he refuses to risk his health for a stage. Ninjaman is on a trajectory to hit $5 million by the end of 2026. The gap is closing. And this is where I ask you, the true fan, the historian. Who is the king? Is it Cartel, the architect who built a city from a jail cell? Or is it Ninjaman, the gladiator who walked out of the arena and realized the world had missed him? This brings me to the most controversial take of this entire video. Ninjaman won. Not the money fight, but the soul fight. Vybz Kartel is a genius. He will go down as the greatest lyricist the genre has ever seen. But in 2026, the lifestyle of Vybz Kartel is a holding pattern. He is preserving himself for a future he might not live to see. Ninjaman is living for right now. And right now, in 2026, while you are reading this comment section, Ninjaman is probably somewhere laughing, smoking, hugging a fan, and forgetting the words to his own songs because he is having too much fun. Cartel is calculating his heart rate. But maybe I am wrong. Maybe Cartel's restraint is the ultimate power move. Maybe he will drop a hologram album that breaks the metaverse. Maybe in 2027, he will reveal a cure for his illness and walk out looking like $1 million, leaving Ninjaman in the dust. That is the beauty of dancehall. The war never ends. It just evolves. I need you to settle this debate right now. Comment below, Team Gaza or Team Don Gorgon. And tell me why. Is it about the money, the music, or the freedom? Like this video if you believe Ninjaman deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award tomorrow. Subscribe if you want to see the deep dive into where Popcorn fits into this 2026 landscape. And share this with one person who still thinks dancehall is just about the rhythm. It's about the blood, the sweat, and the concrete. 2 legends, 2 paths, 1 road. We out.